my journey has taken me like to amazing places that other people they'll struggle for or strive for their entire life and may not accomplish those things. So yeah, I think I owe all of that to just trusting in myself and jumping in. So yeah, if you want to follow in those footsteps, do it.
I'm big boned. I'm heavy structured. I'm hung low. If I pull my shit out, this whole room get dark.
I'ma talk my shit. Fat finger, let me talk my shit. Damn right I'm gon' talk my shit. I.E. in this bitch law. Never resting on my laurels. The definition of a core when they start questioning your morals. Decapitation I must have...
Ladies and gentlemen.
Boys and girls.
Every time I say this and I do this, I always say and bring in like another dope episode. But this one, I'm going to just bring out the backstory and we'll go from there. I remember when I first got on the scene, I had a manager named James Barcelou. Shout out to James. And he had put me on the scene as far as like trying to get me shows. So there was this particular show at the Orange EOS Pavilion, some center in San Bernardino. And I had just gotten off of work. I walk in, I do a set. This is the first time I'm initiated to meeting Cam Archer. And then after I do the set, it was raining outside and I'm approached by a couple. And they say, your set's dope. Can we interview you? Now, little did I know, it was the couple that's in this room today. And Dice, you cannot miss Dice, right? So he's a towering person. So when he goes up to me, he's like, man, I think you're dope. Can I interview you? And we go and we do the interview with Lori. And I remember thinking, okay, this is dope. I like this energy. And fast forward a little later, and Diesel, who was our previous guest, has a song called Monster Mash. And he goes, yeah, you know, I got a verse from the homies and King Dice. And I said, wait. And I said, Dice raps? So I listened to the verse and I'm like, no, he didn't rap. He bodied the fucking verse. And I was like, when is anybody going to tell me this shit, right? So in that instance, he became one of my favorite artists, period, because the word structure, the voice is very powering. It catches your ear instantly. So he became instantly one of my favorite artists, period. Not just an IE, but period. So when I say it is special to have him here, to be able to talk his shit and see the ability from not just from a rapping perspective, but from a creative entrepreneur and the beats, everything. I just wanted to be able to bring him here, and this is very, very, very special for me. This man is not just dope in the sense of music, but even helping his community. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you this Talk Your Shit episode with King motherfucking Dice. Put some respect on his name. Yeah. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. That's a hell of an intro.
I tried to, like, I was sitting there, you gotta understand, I was in the mirror trying to say, how can I hype this episode up? And like, I did this countless times, man. Like I said, this, like, to be able to give you your flowers, bro. So like I said, this means a lot to me that you're here, man.
Man, it means a lot to be here. I appreciate that. Those are a lot of kind words. And man, those some great memories.
Yes. I remember that. I remember, like, and the thing is, that night when I saw you behind the camera, when Lori was asking the questions, you had this like energy. You could tell you love this. Like, it's not something where you're just doing this for the gimmick or the clout. You literally have a love for it. So when you see that smile instantly come across your face, it makes you feel welcome. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I'll never forget that. And you still have that smile. So I like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's dope.
Yeah. So when did you know you wanted to do music?
Man, you know, it's funny. I was thinking about this, and I would have to say like elementary school.
Okay.
I went to this like gifted and talented education program, and it was a lot like, it was just a school for performing arts, right? So in this school, everyone has to sing, everyone has to dance. We learn ballet, we play keyboard. We're doing all the arts, graphic art, we're painting. So it's like this advanced curriculum, and I started off singing, and then puberty hit, and my voice did not keep up. Like I could not sing anymore. Those notes started hitting a little funny. So I kind of left music behind for a little bit. But then I want to say maybe high school, hip hop just kept calling me, and started off at the lunch tables. We just would battle all the time. Some of my best friends I met, through battling. You know what I mean? Shout out the homie SoCal Sinatra.
Shout out.
Prime Ease. And yeah, that's when I for sure was like, okay, so music is still going to be a part of my life. It's just not going to be the way it was. And yeah, I picked up the mic and never put it down, really.
That's what's up. So when did you know you wanted to like you're like, I'm an MC. Like, this is for sure because I'm telling you, when I heard that Monster Mass verse, I was like, this nigga bodied that shit.
Oh man. I started off on the block, right? There's a lot of the big homies. We would just listen to whatever would come on. We start putting ourselves, our group, our clique in the music, right? So it's like Snoop Dogg would say 213, we would say 212. And we would just make our own little versions of us, put our names in it. And eventually I was like, oh, I think I could record this. And I started teaching myself how to engineer, started learning how to make beats. And this was really just to impress the girls. You know what I mean? So like when we're riding around in the car, we're not putting on the new Snoop, or we're not putting on the new 50 Cent. We're putting on like us. And the girls are like, oh, who is this? I'm like, oh, girl, this me. This us. This the homies. And then, yeah, sooner rather than later, I started taking it kind of serious. The homies were like, oh man, like that little remix you did was pretty cool, man. You should like think about doing something original. And I want to say I tried to do my first project. Actually, my first project was homework. It was I went to Valley View out in Moval, and we had this like senior project where we were supposed to put all this effort into this huge project that lasted the whole year. And at the end of the year, yeah, the project I came up with was a CD, and it was my first project, and no one will ever hear that. It was horrible. It was not good. So
it's about the growth.
Right. Definitely a lot of growth involved.
So I know you said that essentially getting the woman to notice was of a driving factor, but when you became like, because to me, not only in MCing, you're one of my favorite producers that I hear. So what is the passion behind like your structure in producing and engineering?
Man, I want to say it probably came out of like not being able to get beats from other people. Really just wanted to teach myself something, doing what I thought was dope. Yeah. And eventually I got sort of good at it. I want to say like my first real amazing beat was probably like Yahtzee.
That's a classic.
Thank you.
Check it out.
Yeah. A mentor of mine, 3D Beats, he was in the IE hip hop scene before me. I want to say we were kind of just messing around. I don't even remember exactly how it started, but like someone had some sort of board game reference, and they said it like in a way where it was like a celebratory thing. I was like, I'm gonna have my own. We played around with like Jumanji, and I was like, oh, like Yahtzee. And 3 was like, that's it. That's the one. And then I remember, I just told this story to my wife yesterday. I was driving home listening to NPR, and they're doing some kind of story on like a celloist. And I hear this, like they played a clip of her playing like a symphony or something. And I hear it and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm trying to grab my phone. This is like Shazam days, right? Where I'm like, oh, I don't know the name of this song. I'm trying to scramble to get my phone so I can Shazam it and find out what song this is. I'm like, please don't end. Please don't end. And I get like a little clip of it. I take it home, found out that song, and I played through it. And then I heard, if you hear Yahtzee, you'll hear there's this repeating sort of sample from a celloist. And yeah, I hear that clip and I just knew, like instantly knew, like, oh, this is the one. And it sort of helped me understand, like I could really do this and started taking it really seriously.
That's what's up. So I tend to do this. I tend to venture off. I have questions on the page and I just start asking questions because what was dope when we would work with each other and I would be able to sit in sessions with you, I would like to pick your brain for shit. So you're one of the few where I like, man, like How's his brain wired? So when you would say certain things, like I can't remember what song we were working on, but you had said like I took that rhyme scheme from J. Cole on Mr. Nice Watch, and I was like, how the fuck does your brain pick up on that? Because you'll tell me, now you want to do an extra this. How's your brain work like to just instantly catch that?
Man, you know what? So like when you hoop, right? Like when you're playing basketball, at least the way that I learned, someone told me like, you got to envision the shot going in, right?
Right.
So it's like I literally, I used to be a nice shooter. You know what I'm saying? People expect me to be a center because I'm tall, but like I see this invisible track in the air and I just see it going in. I'm like, if I keep the ball on this invisible, it will go in, right? So it's similar to that. Like when I'm making music, it's almost like as soon as I start to hear it, I hear like a finished product, and it's just a matter of plugging things in, right? I'm like, okay, we're moving on this section here, or the verse is really it's moving in the right direction. We just need these ad-libs right here. I could just hear it before we're even making it. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense because you're a creative, and like you're genius level creative to me. Like, because we would work on things and you would say things, and I'm like, how the fuck does his brain already compute that before we're not even like 20% creative, and then you already have it in your mind what it's going to sound like. You're like, you should do this, or if it would be dope if you did this. So there would be a lot of projects like, fuck, what song was that? Shit, even Studder McFly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were engineering that, you were like, add this, add that, and then like it would come out, and you're like, how the fuck did you already think about that before? And it would be something subtle.
Yeah,
it was something subtle, but you make it sound so much more dope, and you add layers to it, which is a beautiful thing.
that song is fire.
Yeah,
Listen to that song.
I just know to me it's genius level work, and I don't think people give you enough flowers because that shit's fucking crazy. Anyway, like I said, I tend to go off track, but let me get back. So even with that, the thing that I think is dope about you and a lot of the people that I bring on, you don't just allow things to stop. You kind of transition that into something else. So I see that you do a lot of stuff with your community and mentoring with the youth. So what sparked that interest and what continues to drive it?
Oh man. So I want to say maybe 2015, I was doing music like full time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going on tours, like we're constantly hitting like Arizona, South by Southwest. We got like a little circuit going between here, those places. Also, we'd hit the Bay Area. And I had a friend reach out who was working with a nonprofit in the past area and was like, yeah, I got these kids and they're listening to Slim Jesus. I think it was Slim Jesus. You remember Slim Jesus? He was like
vaguely
a meme rapper. It's not worth remembering.
It's a terrible name.
Yeah. Not worth remembering. But she was like, they're listening to this dude. Like, can you come help make a music program here? And I was also in school at the time, getting a degree in audio engineering. So I was like, I'm going to school for this. Like that, This is pretty dope to find a position in this field. Yeah. And this nonprofit kind of wrote me a blank check. Like, what do we need to get recording here, to start recording here? So I came on, I did that, built that recording program, and I just never left. Like that was something I had done before too. In Moval, I was working with the school district. I also worked in a couple after school programs, and working with youth was something really important to me, but I got away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this opportunity falls on my lap, and I realized how much I really loved it. That might even be, kind of why I started rapping to some extent. Like when I started taking it seriously, I was like, I can make an impact this way. Pac has a quote, he says something like, I may not be the one who changes the world, but I'll spark the mind that does. And that's sort of my philosophy too. Doing this work allows me to be involved in like the future change makers of our country, of our world. So yeah, I got that opportunity. And I just never left, man. I really quickly moved up and was able to, I realized every time I moved up, I'm making like exponential change, right? And when I started, I'm working like one-on-one with kids and I'm making a little impact. And then not long after that, I got a group of kids, and now I got a whole site of like, 20, 30 kids. And now I manage several sites. So, and I didn't make those decisions, lightly, because it was hard to make those decisions.
Right.
To step away from working one-on-one with kids where you're really feeling the impact to now managing some sites where now every kid has a dice. You know, now I get to help 70 to 100 kids have their own dice who's going to help them become, you know, great young men and young women. So
that's what's up. So you essentially went from one-on-one to casting a bigger net for, that's growth.
That's dope.
That's growth.
That's a bar. She said every kid has a dice. I was like,
yeah, that's dope. So what is your best memory so far in this new journey with helping?
Oh man, that's a hard one because there are so many. But I put together this leadership camp that I do annually, and I take basically 3 like classes of kid, right? There's the kids that for sure you know are leaders. They come into your club, they come into your space, you know they're a leader. They know they're a leader. The kid who is on the fence, right? Who could easily get, like, the streets want them because the streets see they're a leader. And oftentimes the street sees leaders before we do as adults or teachers or parents. But the streets, they always catch that. And they're like, oh, this is someone who can help us expand. So the kid who's on the fence, and then the kid who has leadership potential and has no idea, right? They don't think that they'll ever be a leader. They don't see it in themselves. They're not going for these opportunities. And I invite these kids up. We go to Big Bear. We got cabins. We do all these cool activities. And part of what we do is, or what we started doing was this like passing of the torch. So we have these established leaders, the ones that everyone knows as leaders. And then we have these incoming leaders, and they literally like pass a candle. They pass a flame to their candle, and we give speeches. And we did this, and we had a kid who was like, kind of set off like this domino effect. This kid was like, look, I don't have a parent. I don't have a dad. I don't have a father figure in my life, but like I did get one when I got you. And this is a kid who's like coming to me every day, and he's like, hey man, I just asked out a girl today. I was like, cool. And hey man, I got good grades. I was like, I mean, that's what's up, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to sometimes forget to give that a little more attention, because, you know, again, I'm dealing with like 60 kids, and like these small, they sometimes feel like small things, but then in context, right, I hear like, oh, he's telling me things like I'm his father. Yeah. And I never connected those things until I heard that. And I was like, I didn't even know he didn't have a father figure. He never shared that with me. So this first time he shares this, and I'm like, oh, wow. Bro, I started crying. I couldn't help but cry, man. Like, and then another kid's like, yeah, I also don't have a father, but you have shown me what a father can be. And I'm like, oh, damn. All right. No, I'm not crying. You know what I mean? And like everyone starts crying. Everyone has this story that's like that. And I'm really being told the impact I'm making, because often working with youth, it's a thankless job. You know what I mean? You don't do this to get thank yous or to be remembered, because if you're doing it for that, you're wasting your time. Yeah. Sometimes the youth don't even make that connection until 10 years down the line, right? Mm-hmm. But to be in a room and be stuck in a room where I'm hearing these things about me, it's hard to hear good things about yourself. You know what I mean? We live in a society where that doesn't always happen. And I essentially have every kid that I care about, everyone that I go to work for these kids every day, essentially. And they're all telling me this impact I'm making. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right field. And that was an amazing feeling.
That's what's up, man. What is the importance for community for you?
You know, we can complain about a lot of things. I'm guilty of that. I complain about a lot of things too. But eventually we got to like decide, are we going to complain or are we going to try to make a difference? And I was already doing a lot of work in this community. I felt like I was. And I met someone, a homie of mine, and he essentially was like, look, let me show you some other ways you could be making a difference. And when he sort of opened this door to me, I realized, oh, I'm really not doing as much as I think I am. Yeah. There's people out here doing 10 times as much. And I just need to learn like how. And he showed me some different ways how. And yeah, I sort of got hooked, right? It's addicting, especially when I look back at in my youth, some of the bad things I did, man. You know, I got caught up in the streets. My parents were working hard to provide for me and my siblings. And for us, that meant them having a job in LA. that meant my mom was waking up at 4 a.m. and she's not getting home till 7 p.m. Right? My pops was working nights in LA. So he sleep all day and doesn't wake up till 9 p.m. to go to work at 10 p.m. and then get home not until we're back from school. So they were there, they were providing, but there wasn't a lot of interaction. And again, the streets, they see things like that. They see that and they know, like, this is an opportunity for us to move in. And I got pulled into some of that stuff too. And part of my interest in giving back to the community is just making up for some of the things that I did. And I didn't always get caught, you know what I'm saying? But it's not about like atonement for things that I got caught for, right? It's like making things right because it's just integrity, right? Even if no one else knew that I did these things, I know I did these things. So giving back to the community is an opportunity to try to make some of those things right. And then also just be a mentor because I didn't have one. You know what I mean? And I wonder what would my life have been like if I had my own dice. When I was a kid, if someone took me under their wing in a positive way. Now, people took me under their wing, but not in no positive way.
Yeah. So I got to know this because I need it. Will we ever get another King Dice album?
That's a great question. If I come up with another project, it's going to have to be like special. It's going to have to call to me. It's going to have to speak to me. I've explored the idea, whether that's like a beat tape, which I don't think I've ever done a beat tape.
I'm not opposed to hearing a beat tape.
And I've still been producing. Like, that's one thing I've never stopped doing.
RayTronRob@gmail.com.
Come on now.
Oh.
You already know what it is. You already know I'm going to send you something. But yeah, whether it's a beat tape or I've explored some really cool projects, the ideas. I've even started working on some and just kind of, I don't know, it's got to be something that really keeps me connected and grounded and I really, really want to do. Because at this point, I'm really happy with what I've accomplished. I look
as you should be.
Thank you.
That's those two albums, classics. Man.
Like, I want to be able to be 80 or 90 or something, look back on my life and be like, I'm happy with every decision I made. And I feel that way now. So in the moment, there's nothing really speaking to me, but I'm always open.
Do you have a working title?
This will be like an exclusive. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to come out. I doubt it. But I don't have a working title, but I can tell you the concept of the project.
Okay.
So it was the concept was like you take all of these horror concepts, right? Like a werewolf, zombie, ghost, maybe monsters or whatever. And each song I had on the project was in reference to one of these things, but a modern explanation. For example, right? The song that let's just say it was called Ghost. Was about ghosting people, right? So it's not necessarily about a phantom or a ghoul or something like that. It's about like when to let people go. And the concept is ghosts, right? And then there's one where maybe the concept's like a werewolf, right? And it's like about having that dog in you. How sometimes you got to remind yourself, I got that dog in me, right? So it's, and then so on and so forth.
I'm still all this.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. I had the vampires who like the bloodsuckers in your life that just take from you. I got pretty far into the project and a lot of it is written, none of it's recorded, but again, I just kind of lost the interest in it. So I'm not sure. That's the short answer.
Fucking genius.
Is that a temporary loss? Like were you distracted or you couldn't put the passion in it? Or and you feel like you'll find it when the time comes back?
I hope so. A lot of times it's just that life gets in the way, man. Life is,
Life be life.
Man, I bought a house. Owning a house is hard.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
We're not gonna go down that road.
Right. Going from being able to be like, hey, I got a problem with my AC, come fix it, to like, oh, I got a problem with my AC, I gotta fix this.
Yeah.
And figure out and learn how to do it. Like, so I've been just experiencing life and it's been that's been the distraction.
Yeah. Life does life.
Yeah, you still look excited talking about it. Like it's still in there.
I mean, yeah.
We might have a flute album too.
I just walk the earth playing the flute.
So what advice would you give to anyone following in your footsteps?
Oh man, jump in, both feet, same time, do it. I don't regret anything. I really feel like I have the life that I deserve. I set out to accomplish a lot of things that I have, going on tour, starting a label, meeting amazing people like you included.
Appreciate that.
My journey has taken me like to amazing places that other people they'll struggle for or strive for their entire life and may not accomplish those things. So yeah, I think I owe all of that to just trusting in myself and jumping in. So yeah, if you want to follow in those footsteps, do it.
For sure. So what is your favorite Royal gambling club memory?
Oh, wow. I have a lot of great memories. Most of them have to do with our showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So one cool thing that we did is every year, because our roster would change, things would change on the label, we would do like a RGC showcase, right? And it's something that I sort of picked up from South by Southwest. There's a lot of showcases. And one thing that we would do, I want to say 2015 may have been our first RGC set. And it was at Common Ground. And Common Ground was at a bar called The Vibe in Riverside, which used to be a Coyote Ugly. And a Coyote Ugly is the type of bar where like the girls are on top of the bar, standing up there, dancing and pouring drinks. So because of that, there was a section of the bar that was made to stand up on. And I remember going to a set maybe like a month or two before our set, and someone stood up on the bar, and I was like, that shit was dope. Oh, that was crazy. And I was like, I'm doing that during my set. So during the RGC set, 2015 was the first time I stood on the bar, and that was an amazing memory for me because the whole set was cool. We had everyone on the label at the time do their own set, do their songs like their main songs. But there was a part where we kind of like hit the lights. And I think DJ Calligraphy, who was the DJ at Common Ground for the longest, he helped me by like hitting the lights at a certain point. And this is in between songs. And when the lights came back on, like it went off and I was on the stage. And when it came back on, I was on the other side of the crowd on the bar.
That's dope.
And that was fire. That was like an amazing time. One of my best memories ever.
I'm gonna tell you one of my most memorable memories of you. We were doing a show at the Mission Tobacco Lounge, and I just remember you got there maybe like 10 or 20 minutes right before we were supposed to go on stage, and you walked up and your hand was wrapped. And I go, what happened? You go, just had to fuck somebody up. And I said, you said it so nonchalantly. And it just made me go, what the fuck? Like, because it was something like, it was almost like you're like, oh, I just got some coffee. But the look on your face was like, he's serious. He's not bullshitting. But I remember it because I've seen all different sides of you. But that one was just straight up like, took care of some business. Let's get to business. And I fucked with it because it was straight up. It was like, just had to fuck somebody up. And you had your whole fist wrapped.
Sheesh.
But the effortlessness in it was kind of like, hey, nigga, don't fuck with dice. Like that was what I took from it. Like, because you were like, all right, we still got a show to do. But I remember that it always stood out because it was just, to me, it's all different sides of dice. Like, but it's, to me, a dope side to see because I don't think everyone gets to see that side.
Well, let me say, sometimes
you got to pop out and show.
you ain't. Sometimes this music industry puts you in situations and you just got to be ready. I mean, kids don't do that.
No, don't. Yeah, that's not. It's just to say sometimes you got to stand on business, and I saw that in your face. It wasn't that you were looking for the smoke. You just had to let somebody know, like.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Yeah, that's how I took it exactly.
I was gonna say kids do exactly that. Defend yourself.
Defend yourself for sure.
But it was like I said, the way you reacted was just kind of like, oh, getting some coffee or something. Like it was that energy, but it was like, but the look on your face was like, sometimes you just gotta pop out and show niggas. Like, so I would usually look over to Des, but Des isn't here. Shout out to Des, because she has her number one.
Her criteria.
And she doesn't hear that on her list. She feels some type of way. But we got to know, what is your top 5 dead or alive MC?
Oh, this is such a hard question.
It's not hard. It's your list.
Okay, so
no pressure.
Because I was looking at it like, is this, am I thinking technical rappers, technique? Am I thinking about like impactful to me? Am I thinking about what we would all agree are like just the best.
No, you're thinking
MCs.
about what matters to you.
Yeah, what matters
Like,
to you and
if
all.
you can only listen to 5 people, who are those 5 people? Because I feel like your top 5 should be the 5 people you're gonna listen to no matter what. So who are your top 5?
So I feel like I have to combine all those things. Then it's gonna have to be a little bit of like impact, a little bit of like importance, but I would say Jay-Z.
Hold on, are we going 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Can I get a gunshot?
No specific order.
Are we not going order?
No order.
Can I get a gunshot? Because no one ever uses. He said Jay.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, Jay-Z, Eminem,
Yes.
Okay.
Andre 3000.
Yes.
I like that one. So you said 3,000 Outcasts?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, they try to say Outkast as a whole, but yeah.
I can't give it to Outkast as a whole. I mean, I like Big
Thank
Boy,
you.
but like,
See?
he ain't never really touched my heart with
Never.
like a verse where I was
Never.
like,
But that's
Never.
different than what you say.
No, I say the same shit.
No,
I ain't
you-
never said, oh man,
don't-
Big
you-
Boy went off.
You say this.
I ain't
You
never
say-
heard anybody say, man, I'm really looking forward to that Big Boy album.
Well, he says this. You say it like Big Boy's just trash, though. You like,
Because I tell you right now, Big Boy put out a flute album. That shit is going brick.
right.
well, yeah.
Ain't nobody talking about it.
Don't nobody want to hear Big Boy on a piccolo or
Speaker box, Love
oboe.
Below.
'Cause-
we bought that for Love Below.
But
Ain't nobody
even
listening to
Andre's
Hey.
flute album is nominated for something. I'm saying if Big Boy tried that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Anyway.
My bad.
Man, I'm on number 5, right?
Yeah, no, 4.
Four.
You got 2 left. You got 2 left.
Snaps. All right.
You can give a 6 if you want.
I'm gonna say Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar.
Which
Especially,
version?
I want to say like who he is right now.
No. Okay.
Right
yeah,
now.
because he's West Coasting right now.
Yeah, the West
Yeah.
Coast Renaissance is in
Yeah.
full effect, and
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
He got that killer number right now.
For sure. It's blood in the water, man. And he really on like some great white shark stuff right now. He's killing it.
Say Drake.
Right. Come on, man. And I want to say there's got to be somebody sort of newer, not new, but newer that has been impactful. And I'm gonna say Toby and Wigway.
Okay.
I fuck with that.
He's a dope.
I fuck with
Definitely
Toby.
a dope
I fuck with
MC.
Toby.
And what he stands for is fire.
I fuck with Toby.
I agree.
But if I did say 6, in my heart, in my
You can
heart
give
of
us
hearts,
10s. Keep going.
oh well, I could probably go all day, but I'm gonna definitely have to throw Sugar Free in there. 'Cause I'm a West Coast for sure.
Why you-
Pomona, right? Come on now,
Smoking on that dojo as come on, man. Smell my finger?
man. So, there's things that Sugar Free has said
Come on, bro.
that I've incorporated into my personal
Come on.
philosophy, like since like I was a little kid, and I probably will forever. So,
Like, you know how many times I got my ass beat for listening to Sugar Free when I wasn't supposed to?
man, but is it worth it though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, come
Because
on
I
now.
still play that shit today.
All right. So, what are your future ventures and projects?
Well, I want to say I know. I wish I did know because I think it's a great time to have a great answer, but I don't. I want to say a lot of people have been encouraging me to explore politics, local politics especially.
You should.
Possibly in the future. Right now, I don't know if right now is a good time for that, but maybe politics in the future. I mean, I have
talking about the mobile?
I'm actually out here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm in the San Antonio Pass area, so I live in Banning.
Okay.
So maybe one day, politics, so I can continue to make a difference, right? I want to make a difference, but the thing that keeps me from really jumping into politics head first is the red tape.
Mhm.
Right now, when I want to make a difference, all I have to do is have the wherewithal to get it done. Nobody stops me but dice. But when it comes to politics, there's all this bureaucracy and red tape and other things that stop you, and it's slow. And I don't like that, right? So maybe politics. I would say I have a bucket list of things I just want to accomplish. I want to write a book for kids.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It seems kind of random, but again, it for me, it boils down to when I'm 80 years old and I'm looking back at life. Am I going to be happy? Am I going to be like, I accomplished everything I want to accomplish? And I want to have a lasting impact on youth. For right now, I feel like I'm in a season of just legacy. That's what my life is all about right now, is what's my legacy going to be? I don't have kids of my own. So when I think about legacy, I think about ways that I have a lasting impact when I'm gone. So that's where the children's book comes in, and maybe politics comes in. Maybe a project. I'm not sure. I recently was helping a youth that used to be a mentee of mine, and now he's an adult and he's a filmmaker, and I helped him like finish a documentary.
Oh, that's what's up.
So I got into a little bit of filmmaking, and that's exciting. I really don't turn down anything. Like if it's dope, if it's creative, if it sounds fun, I'm pretty much down for it. So
RaytronRob@gmail.com.
Right, for sure. I
was just throwing it out there.
We gonna have to come, man. You got to come through. We gonna have to go through some beats.
Okay.
I got some
I
beats.
think that's how we get something out of both of them.
Yeah, because the whole time, Kev, I'm over here like he pressuring Dice for an album. We've been talking to this nigga for over 2 years.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, now he got amnesia.
Right.
2025. Things can change.
We hope so.
What I will say is, when you said that, I instantly thought if your political slogan could be, but I don't know if they'll be like,
it's not appropriate.
It's not,
don't even say it. Don't even say
Roll with dice.
Or sometimes you just got it and just leave it ... and then people gonna fill in the blanks.
Right.
We're not gonna say it because if we do run, they might run this back. So
Yeah. It was just. So
I'll vote. I'll get all the neighbors. We'll be cool.
Hey,
sometimes.
We'll be cool.
But in closing, I want to say, man, I think it's dope. It's beautiful to see what you're doing. I've always rooted for you, always believed that, I said, you're a genius level talent. I really hope we do get this Dice project, because even when, McFly Lounge coming to, when you said that, and I said, dude, like, it didn't even feel right hearing you say that when you said, like, this might be the last. I'm like, no. We want to see future things, because you're one of the people in the IE that I can say is unique. Your sound, the flow, the energy, the stage presence, the fact that like you're always willing to give advice and kind of give little seeds of knowledge that, to me, it's helped me even when I start approaching writing and everything like that. So when I know that you're doing that for the youth, I feel like it's only necessary that you get your flowers. And I'm glad that you were here today so we could at least give you flowers. I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors. Again, I say I hope we get that project. Again, ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause and put some respect on his motherfucking name. This has been Talk Your Shit with King Dice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Like, subscribe, share, and comment.
all that shit.
We love you. Till next time. Peace.
This has been another episode of the Heavyweight Podcast, Talk Yo Shit. One thing about me, baby, I'm showing up every week to see who coming to talk their shit. Y'all better show up with me. See you there. Bye.